Hey guys, it's Glenn for GMP Custom Fabrications, and today I am just tickled to tell you about a new project that I took on. This one's been in the works for a couple months. Me and the owner of it first started talking. I had done some work for the guy's brother a few years ago before I really started doing YouTube, which it would have been a good Will It Run video. He had an old Willys Jeep that had been sitting for a while, and I helped him get it running and did some work on it. And but yeah, he recommended me for this job, and I couldn't be happier. Back behind me here is a 48, I believe 48 around that year, KB8 International. You can see here right now the back's off of it. It was originally a mixer truck, concrete mixer truck, ready mix truck with a local company, Haven Ready Mix. They had used it years ago. I don't know the full story on it, but I know recently they had used it in parades, and then they just used it for like a sign promotional out in front of their business. And Andy reached out to me. They're wanting to redo the truck and be able to make it drivable, usable in parades. And he's wanting me to put this cab, got a 96 Dodge 1-ton with a 12 valve Cummins in it, automatic transmission, dually extended cab truck. And he's going to take care of putting the mixer back on it, but he just wants me to put the cab on it and get it running and get it drivable. So let's take a look at what we got going on here. This is the original power in it, straight six. I believe I don't have the Dodge here yet to compare, but I believe it's going to be about the same size. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think this will probably sit right on top of that Dodge motor, just like this one's sitting. I'm hoping to use this radiator. I don't know if that's going to be possible yet, but as big as this motor is, as much heat as it probably put out, that radiator is probably more than stout enough to handle a Cummins. That will just be a lot optimal as far as not having to fabricate and get a different radiator for it. Move on to the cab here. My original plan was I was going to try to integrate the top of this cab to the bottom of the Dodge cab, where I would keep the Dodge floor and dash and firewall all intact and just remove the top and put this one on top of it. I don't know if that's going to be possible. I was trying to do that as far as keeping it mechanically intact so that I wasn't having to totally recreate systems, but getting the truck here and discussing it with Andy, yeah, this cab's a lot narrower than what the Dodge is. We can tell just by looking at it, a lot narrower than a modern truck. And I'll go ahead and keep this cab intact the way it is, and just have to find ways to join the two of them. Since it's automatic truck, I won't have to worry so much with a lot of the systems, the clutching and all that. So I'll know a lot better what I'm getting into when I get the Dodge here. But I'm looking forward to this build a lot. I'm shooting to get it done in a month. Me and my wife is going on a mission trip down to Dominican Republic. I'd like to have it done by then. I don't want it sitting here half done when we leave. But to do that, a lot of things have to fall in place. I'm still working. They've just cut the number of guys on my board, so I'm going to be going to work a lot more. Of course, 2 weeks leading up to this project, I was spending a lot of time at home, and of course now the project started, they cut the boards, and so I don't know how much free time I'm going to have between trips. So I'm going to have to work efficiently. I'm going to have to plan things out. I'm not going to have time to redo stuff, so I'm going to have to definitely measure twice, cut once, weld once, get everything done right the first time, and really plan out my steps so that I'm not wasting any movement here, because I don't have any time to waste on it. Andy wasn't adamant about doing the 1 month thing. He was just wanting to make sure that it was going to get done in a timely fashion, that it wasn't going to sit around here for years. And I assured him that I would try to get done as quickly as possible. It will be my priority as soon as I get Sketchy out of the shop. And for those who watched the last video, Ada Lifter, don't know, I'm going to try to go the sheep route right now, check the cam, and as long as the cam doesn't have any chunks out of it, I'm going to throw another, just a stock lifter in there, put it back together. If it runs, that's great. If it don't, then I'll deal with it later. I need to get it out of the shop because it's taking up space. I'm being hopefully optimistic that it's not going to be anything that I can't handle. It's all stuff that I've dealt with before. It'll be a lot like the work that I did on Rat Dooley and integrating those two systems together. And so yeah, it's I think getting the firewall, everything transferred over from one firewall to the other, get the steering linked up will probably be the main issues to deal with. So I'll be taking some measurements. I'm going to start with my main measurement. I'll get the wheel turned straight, establish the center line on this fender, and then go off my hinge to that center line, because when I go to move the cab, I'll be doing it because I don't have a lot of equipment to lift this whole cab together. I'm going to be taking the fenders and the hood and everything off of it whenever I move the cab from one vehicle to the other. And so I need to establish where everything needs to be on the other chassis before I pull it off of this one. So yeah, that would be my first thing. Is I got my notepad, got my tape measure, and I'll measure out some reference points, write it down, and that way whenever I go to put it back together on the Dodge chassis, I'll know where everything needs to be sitting. When I do my cab mounts, get it mounted up, and then I'll move up, figure out what it takes to get the fenders remounted, and then move on up. He's wanting to keep the original front bumper on it. I told him I didn't see a problem with that. We may end up cutting the front of this frame off in order to get the mounts right. Until I get the Dodge here so I can really get them side by side, I don't know a lot of how I'm going to do things yet. That's my hope. They have a mixer, concrete mixer they're going to put back on it. They're going to handle that themselves. I'm just responsible for getting this cab moved over to the other chassis and get it operational. And so that takes a lot off of me. I'm just having to do the fabricating to get this part done. And I think I can handle that. So if this is the kind of content you're looking for, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like the video so far, hit the like button. I'm going to try to do at least a weekly video. We'll see how it goes. Maybe twice a week. Like I said, depends on how it goes and how much free time I have and just how much content I'm getting out of my work. Because of my time crunch, unfortunately, getting stuff done will be priority over shooting videos or editing videos at some points. So hopefully I can do a progressive build to where there's not big gaps. It's like, well, how did he get there? Well, every session that I'm working on the truck, I want to do updates, whether you're actually watching me do the work or I'm just showing, hey, this is what I did yesterday. Didn't record it, but here it is. I want to take you through the process a little bit. Okay, I went ahead and took a little break from recording because I don't have camera set up for all that right now. But the inside, took power washer to it, cleaned up pretty good. Had a lot of dust in it. The headliner's going to have to be redone, but that's not on me. That would be whatever they decide to do when I get my part done. But I just want to get that cleaner so that whenever I'm doing my part, I'm not dealing with a bunch of dirty parts. Cleaned up the engine area. Even though the engine's not going with it, it will just make it easier to take it apart, make it nicer, cleaner. A little bit more about Andy, who brought me the project. He's seemed like a good old boy. I definitely got the feeling that, and as he stated, this is a project that they consider doing themselves. He seemed, he's done stuff like this in the past, which I guess kind of puts more of a challenge on me because he knows how he would do it. And so to have a customer that knows what I'm doing and understands the process and all that will mean a lot more to me. I know that they'll appreciate the work done a lot more than, say, somebody who just is paying somebody to do something that they don't know how to do. Andy knows how to do all this stuff. He's just got enough on his plate already. Didn't feel like taking on this too. So hats off to Andy for trusting me with this. Also, for those that's on my Facebook or actual friends of mine in real life, friends in real life, you know I lost my dad. I guess it's been 2 months ago, and we moved to this area down here in Bourbon, Missouri, because my stepbrothers had bought a ready mix plant, and one of their competitors in the area was Haven Material Services, Haven, uh, who this truck is from. So when Andy first approached me with this, and I told him I was interested in it, I told my dad about it. When I told my dad about the project, he was excited because it's something he could really wrap his head around. The we had done he's got a 41 Ford that we put on a S10 chassis, so he's familiar with the concept of putting old stuff on newer chassis. Anyway, when I told Dad about it, when Andy first approached me, he was excited. I wish he was here. He would really enjoy this. So, Dad, I'm doing this for you. Yeah, and Andy bringing this to me, I don't know if he even remembered the name being associated with a one-time competitor of theirs, and really, I don't know the ready mix plant that they were running. Well, we moved down here so that my dad could help my stepbrothers run it, and I don't know how much competition we really were. I mean, I guess you know they seemed to have a better outfit than what we had, but I know we poured our fair share of concrete during that time. I think my dad would have really enjoyed this build. It's something that I think he really would have enjoyed being a part of. I would have loved to have had him around for it. Yeah, just the fact that I was able to tell him about it, it was something I was planning on doing. I think he knew I'd do a good job on it. So I'll make sure I don't let him down. At some point, I'll probably have my dad's old Ford on the channel. It needs some work done to it, stuff that I didn't get to while he was here. And since he left it to me, I'll be taking care of it and making those changes and hopefully getting it to the car shows he wasn't able to get it to. I talked to my stepmom. I try to include her in on going to the car shows, and I think she was just excited about that too. So yeah, I just don't have much more to say than that. So this is Glenn for G&P Custom Fabrications, living the dream till the freaking phone rings. Thanks for watching. No. No. And oh.